stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild and variety. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the attic, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories, they're talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the crew. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member ride. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the Untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Paranormal Spectrum here on the Untold Radio Network. I am your host, Barnaby Jones of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. We are live. Good morning, Mr. Octoman. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us here. If you guys have any questions and comments throughout the show, throw them in the comments section on your chosen platform, and we will get to them as soon as we can. Guys, it is October already. We are already a whole week into the spookiest month of the year. And coming up, guys, we are doing paranormal investigations for the public of one of the hauntedest locations that we've investigated, the Wisconsin's premier haunted gentlemen's club, Bean Snappers of Mackville, Wisconsin. The building has over 100 years of history. It has been passed down for 4 generations from its original owner until finally being sold outside the family for the first time in 1993 to its current owners. It was the town's original general store, blacksmith shop, tavern, dance club, and more. And it has 4 recorded deaths and burned twice, so all kinds of spooky stuff there. There have been everything from full-bodied apparitions, scratching, EVPs, you name it, at the location. And we can, you guys can come out and check it out any Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday when the club is closed. Tickets are available on our website, hauntedbeansnappers.com or wisconsincaps.com. There are also private investigations available for teams. If you're interested, shoot us an email. All right, guys, coming up on next week, the 16th, we are going to be at the Shawano County Library. On the 22nd, we are going to be at the Brownsville Public Library. And October 25th, Saturday, we are going to be at the Neenah Public Library. All of these events are exploring the paranormal. We are going to show you how to safely perform a paranormal investigation, what you should and shouldn't do, how to properly use your equipment, and more, including some spooky EVPs and other evidence that we've collected throughout the years. And all these events are free to the public. And after the event, we are going to be doing public investigations of the libraries. I know for a fact that the Brownsville Public Library and the Chautauqua Public Library have both reported paranormal activity in their buildings, and so we're looking forward to checking that out. And then, guys, coming up next year, we are going to be at the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Delavan, Wisconsin, and CapCon, Wisconsin in Fond du Lac, May 8th and 9th. That's what we got coming up. But, guys, we have some awesome guests here patiently waiting in a lovely McDonald's parking lot coming to us live on location. So let's get to our guests. Today, we don't have one guest, not two guests, but three guests, Jill, Billy, and Mark. They founded in 2017 by husband and wife, Billy and Jill Winsett. Night Vision Paranormal is a family-owned and operated paranormal investigation group based out of Western Kentucky. Night Vision Paranormal investigates everything from paranormal, including ghosts, aliens, and cryptids. The team also consists of Jill's father, Mark, who heads up the cryptid division, and Skylar, who is Bill and Jill's oldest son. Night Vision Paranormal also has a junior division that consists of Billy and Jill's younger children. In 2024, Night Vision Paranormal expanded from investigations to also including vending and speaking at local conventions. They have investigated locations such as Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Louisville, Kentucky, Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois, the Glen House in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and other well-known historical and renowned locations, including many homes and businesses in Western Kentucky and the surrounding states. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jill, Billy, and Mark to the show. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
We are having a little laggy stuff going on with our system today, but so just be patient with that. We'll no worries. We'll get through it, and looking forward to this. So, you guys, let's start out with tell us about the team, how you guys got started, and your interests in it.
So, as you mentioned, we started doing this in 2017. Jill, my wife, and I were invited to a paranormal investigation at Waverly Hills. And we went with a couple of friends, and from there it turned into what it is today. Our interest in the paranormal stemmed from personal experiences. For me, about 21 years ago, I saw a relative of mine that had passed away just a couple months prior. And honestly, before that happened, never thought a whole lot about the paranormal. I'm not going to say I believed or didn't believe, but once I saw something, I had to figure out what I saw, and it evolved into Night Vision Paranormal.
Mark, what got you involved in it?
I remember watching the original Legend of Boggy Creek when I was a kid, and then there was a documentary, Sasquatch, the Legend of Bigfoot. Those were in the early and mid 70s when I was growing up. I thought, that's pretty neat stuff. There's a Bigfoot out in California and on the Pacific coast, and didn't think a whole lot more about it. And now you hear reports from absolutely everywhere: Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, Alabama. So I always liked that. I had the ghost slash shadow person disappear in front of myself and a detective while we were working on a burglary case in Richmond, Virginia around 1990. So I guess you could say that sparked it as well.
I would say so. So were you you involved in law enforcement?
Yes, 37 years, retired now.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that because that's, you know, you have a trained observer. So when you guys go out to these investigations and stuff, you know what you're looking at. You know how to judge scale and distance and stuff like that better than the average person. So it's always good to have those kind of witnesses and stuff that are available because it's a lot more credible. The average person is a very poor judge of distance and height and stuff, especially when you encounter these weird creatures and stuff out in the woods. Your brain doesn't know how to comprehend it right off the bat, and so you exaggerate height and distance and things like that, and things get a little muddled. So that's very cool.
And we do follow-up investigations and a lot of documentation. One of the things we're probably going to talk about tonight, we've already done 3 follow-ups on the original, and then we have another follow-up tomorrow morning in Land Between the Lakes. So yeah, we're all about 100% integrity. If we put it out, it's real. There's no faking anything, and we just do our best to document and try to make the unknown known.
Very cool.
We recently had a piece of evidence that we put on Facebook from Ashmore Estates in Illinois, where we thought we had caught like the perfect orb. And we did a lot of research on it and everything that an orb is supposed to be, even though I'm personally not a big fan of orbs. It fit the description, and so we posted it. And, you know, Mark did the follow-up thing, and after 21 attempts, we was able to recreate the picture. So we actually had to go on Facebook and apologize for putting out something that wasn't, you know.
But we were able to debunk it ourselves because, again, we're not going to put anything out there knowingly that it's not right.
How can I ask, how were you able to debunk it? What did you figure out that it was?
All right. If you're familiar with cat balls, the circular plastic that light up different colors when they're touched.
Yep.
That's what we had at Ashmore Estates.
The prism effect. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. So at Ashmore, we had 2 of those sitting on a row of chairs, and they had been going off. So I took a flash picture. And when I went back later on and I found this circular orb that appeared to have structure, clearly defined edges, and it had a green coloration in it. Well, that's why we thought, oh, we got this. This is wonderful. So we actually have a quality control division within Night Vision Paranormal, very detail oriented, very not skeptical, but open-minded, but problem solving. And showed that to our quality control division. And he said, well, is it possible that the flash reflected off the internal structure of the light, the cat balls, and the white light from the flash LEDs that are inside the cat balls and produce this green circular orb looking? And I said, I don't know, let me find out. Took the cat balls down into my basement where it's dark, tried to recreate the distance and the angle. I took 21 photographs at approximating the distance and angle, and the 21st photograph showed a green circle with clearly defined edges and appeared to have structure in it similar to the first one. So we debunked ourselves, but that's what you got to do, because we're not going to put anything out there knowingly that is not correct.
That's awesome. Sorry that it didn't turn out, but I'm glad that you were able to figure that out, because, you know, that's awesome. I sincerely appreciate your work with that, because, you know, I'm on the same level with the orbs. I believe that there is weird stuff out there, like we can see it, and when you go somewhere and you see it with your eyes is a completely different orb than if you take a picture or a video and it just shows up. Lee Warner, who's always in our guests. I don't know if she's listening today. She hasn't commented yet, but she recently sent me a video from one of her friends got on a security camera or something, and it shows this orb coming from like a window across a room. And it's a really unique video because I'm very skeptical on this stuff. I think that it's usually dust and that, but when you slowed it down and watched it, it comes from outside and through the window. And then it enters this basement or room or whatever, and you can see it come like pass through the glass because it comes from out of frame outside, and then enters the window. And it's a really interesting video, but I don't have permission to share it. But yeah, it's unique. So there's definitely some weird stuff going on with orbs, and that, like you said, with being able to debunk it, it adds that extra emphasis on the stuff that you can't debunk. When you can debunk 99% of your videos and footage and stuff, that 1% of footage that you do get is just amazing stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, we capture stuff all the time that we're hesitant to put out there because there is no way to debunk it. You know what I mean? So just because we had that personal experience doesn't mean somebody else would have had that same experience if they'd have been there.
And that's credible too. I mean, if you put out a disclaimer that says, hey, I don't know what this is, but this is what we captured. And that's a lot of like what the stuff that we put out, if we can't debunk it, I don't know that it's paranormal or if it's a creature or what it is, but this is what happened. This is where it was, this is what it is. This is the footage, and that's nothing wrong with that either. So very cool. But you guys are sitting in a parking lot today, and there's a reason for that. You guys are out on location, working hard, and taking a break to be with us today. So tell us, what have you guys been up to, and where have you been lately here?
So we are currently in Land Between the Lakes, LBL region of West Kentucky. It's really close to home for us. Mark spends a lot of time in LBL for us, hence the reason why he's our cryptid division leader. And he has actually been here since Saturday. He was here Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with some friends of ours, Monsters Unleashed out of North Carolina. We came in, Jill and I came in Monday and spent the night with them and did an investigation. It kind of rained us out about midnight, unfortunately, but it was a little bit lucky for me because I had to be at work the next morning. We took Tuesday off, and we've been back since yesterday. We spent last night out doing investigations. We've already been out this morning doing some investigations before we got here to borrow some Wi-Fi and be able to join you today. And then when we leave here, we're gonna get right back at it and hit the next spot that Mark's got panned out for us.
And you guys are going to be all the way the rest of this week out there as well, right?
We're going to be here till Sunday, so we've got a lot of places to hit. We do have one more break that we have to take on Friday to join the public library in Marshall County where we live. They are doing a teen event for Halloween, October spooky month, and we've agreed to come in and do a little Q&A with teens, how to use ghost equipment, and then maybe do like a little miniature ghost hunt afterwards.
Very cool. And for those in the area, where is that and when again? So
the town is Benton, Kentucky, and it'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. after the library actually closes. And so if you've got a teenage child, 11, 12, 13 and up, they can join us at the Marshall County Library at the main branch in Benton, Kentucky from 6 to 8 p.m. And we look forward to sharing some of the equipment that we have. I'm sure they've probably seen it on TV, and we'll actually be able to let them hold a REM pod and tripwire and night vision cameras and FLIR and things like that, and give them a little dose of a little bit of spooky season before Halloween.
The new generation.
Ghost hunting 101.
Yeah.
Maybe the next Night Vision Paranormal group with a different name will come from that. And as you mentioned in the intro, we don't just have the Night Vision division that you see here. And of course, we are missing my oldest son, Skylar, today, but he joins us from time to time. But we also have Night Vision Junior division, and our children actually join us on investigations from time to time. As a matter of fact, our 13-year-old son, Spooky 13, and that's his favorite number. So for his 13th birthday, that is the reason why we went to the Night House in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. They were nice enough to let us rent that out for the night. We did a birthday cake beforehand and an investigation after.
Very cool. I love this. We've had other groups on as well that are families of investigators, and that's always kind of cool to see all the different generations and like the kids' girlfriends and stuff even get involved, and it's just this whole family event. And they, instead of going, I had Date Night Paranormal, and those guys are out of Australia, and it's a husband and wife. And instead of going out to dinner or a movie, they go out for their dates. They go out to do paranormal investigations and stuff. And
That's great.
that's really cool. So
I was just telling Jill the other day, kind of our thing before we started getting big into this was concerts. And I was like, when's the last time we've really been to a concert and not a ghost hunt? So maybe we should change our name to Date Night Paranormal. I kid with people that ask us about our group all the time. I was like, normal families go on, Disney World, we go ghost hunting, but we do that too. We fit that stuff in for our kids too. But heck, we may book a ghost hunting family trip too. Who knows? Even our 2-year-old will be out here Friday night. So
I've seen Scooby-Doo. I've seen the real Ghostbusters. Those concerts are just as haunted as anywhere else. You guys can go right at the concert.
You never know what you're going to encounter. Some of our best evidence that we've ever captured and personal experiences that we've ever had were not, and I'm not saying that we didn't capture anything at the places that you mentioned, like Waverly Hills and so forth, but probably the most haunted location we've ever been was a personal residence. So you never know what's going to happen, where something's going to show up, what's going to show up, what you're going to encounter. We did a personal residence. Jill and I have done it twice. Mark joined us on the second trip because we was telling him like, hey, this place is legit. And a friend of mine was purchasing a house. And when he had looked at the house originally, they had found remains in an urn that had been left behind from the person selling the house. And it had a name on it, so we knew a name. And we went and investigated it. He said every time he went down to the basement, he got an eerie feeling that led him and the real estate agent to kind of look around and see what was going on, because they felt it too. And in a closet, downstairs in a basement in the back corner, they found an urn that had been left behind. And they got it back to the family and so forth that it belonged to. But he still got that eerie feeling every time, and he wound up purchasing the home. So after he purchased the home, during the remodel and everything, he invited Jill and myself to come and investigate it. And it was, just one thing after another, crazy activity all night long. We went back a second time. We brought Mark with us. And again, it didn't disappoint. All night long, had activity. Mark can probably say better what he did, but we had always just gotten activity in the basement. We had never gotten anything upstairs. So we decided to kind of divide and conquer and left Mark and Jill in the basement. And I went upstairs and just did an isolation session by myself. I wasn't really even doing a call and response or anything like that. I was just sitting in a chair in the dark in the middle of the living room floor.
On the opposite end of the house from where we were in the basement.
And unbeknownst to me, Mark said something along the lines that,
I said, Billy, my son-in-law is upstairs. Can you go up and kick him?
And in that time frame after review, I was touched. Now, I wasn't kicked, but I will never forget what happened to me. I was flicked on the ear, kind of like something like grandparents used to do back in the day when you were misbehaving. It was as cold as the coldest ice that it felt on my ear. I can still feel where it touched me to this day. I could hear the sound of the air as the finger flicked past my ear. Needless to say, I came up out of the chair probably with a few choice words and went back downstairs, and they were kind of laughing, and we figured out that he had told something to do something to me, and sure enough, something happened. Now, obviously, before I went downstairs, I turned my light on, I looked around, gathered my composure, thought what could have landed on my ear, what could have misrepresented it. Is there a bug in here? Did a spider drop down? And absolutely found nothing that could explain it. I was nowhere near a wall or anything like that, so nothing could have, I couldn't have bumped up against something. It was just me, a lawn chair sitting in the middle of the floor. So like I said, you never know what's going to pop up and where and how good it's going to be or how calm it's going to be on a night.
I can't imagine, like, if your remains are given to your family after being cremated or something, and then being left in a house and forgotten. I mean, you want to talk about like unfinished business, or a restless spirit. I mean, to be like not have family left and being left at a funeral home or something is one thing, but then being picked up and left at a house when it was sold. I mean, that is just terrible. I can imagine why there's such unrest and stuff there, even after it was returned, because you have this just like disappointment and everything going on with, why was I left behind? Why did you forget it? All that stuff. So, oh man,
it was definitely the person whose remains was left behind because we got a name.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, did you get anything that actually tied it to that?
Definitely got an EVP with the name. Funny enough, she makes fun of me all the time for the way I talk. I'm from Kentucky. I'm a country boy. Sometimes I mess up my slang, right? And the lady had a name, and I kept pronouncing it incorrectly. And I got corrected in an EVP. I said the name incorrectly, and the EVP told me how it should have been pronounced back, kind of angrily,
with attitude,
with some attitude, like, "Hey, dude, quit messing up my name." So,
I mean, there you go. That's one way to get its attention too. Not only did they get left behind and forgotten, but now if you remember them, you get their name wrong. Well, that's definitely going to elicit a response right there. So,
right. So we kind of provoked inadvertently. Like, I don't like to provoke, you know what I mean? But inadvertently, I was provoking her to tell me that I was saying her name wrong. And but just we had and I know that every method, you have people that are for it and against it. We throw a little bit of everything. As we've progressed, we've gathered more tools. And sometimes I feel like we may have too many tools and we spend too much time tinkering with those instead of actually investigating. Especially the first time that we went to the home, it was in our early days, and we were doing the torch method because we didn't have a whole lot else at the time to talk with and communicate with. And I would say it was every bit of an hour and a half that we had left light come on for yes and right light for no, and can you turn it off on command and turn it on command. And when the session ended, there were 3 of us downstairs. We were in different corners of the room, and everybody kind of said, "Did you feel that?" And it, when a person walks past you, you feel that. And that's what it felt like. It felt like something had enough of us and left the room, and we kind of felt the swoosh of a person walking out of the room, and no more answers, So we had a lot of EVPs from it. Like I said, just further told us who it was. Whistles that we caught out of nowhere. Like I said, we go to some of the most haunted places in the world, and it turns out that a personal residence is maybe top place that we've ever been. It's up there anyway.
That's awesome. That is awesome. We are live, guys. If you guys have any other questions or comments throughout the show, throw them in the comments section and we will get them for our guests here. We are talking with Bill, Jill, and Mark from Night Vision Paranormal out of Western Kentucky. So you guys have sent me a couple pictures here. I think we want to kind of talk about those for a little bit.
Yeah, so we're going to let Mark talk to you about the pictures because he's the head of our cryptid division. He's the one that caught the picture. And I think he can do a better job of explaining it to you.
Do you want me to bring it up first, or do you just want to explain?
Yeah, let's do that, and because I don't actually know exactly what they sent to you.
Okay, so we got side by side.
The side by side. Okay. Okay. So the picture on the left is the original picture that I took May 28th, 2025. I decided we're all of us go, but I specifically go when I can't get anybody else alone investigating in Land Between the Lakes. So we've gone hiking, we've gone on, drive the roads, go to the cemeteries, go to famous locations within LBL. When other people are available. When they're not, I go by myself. So on this particular day, May 28th, I decided to go on a solo kayak, and I was going to search the shoreline because there had been reports people had seen things along the shoreline. Mike Smith from right in this area, he goes by boat a lot, and he finds a lot of footprints and stuff. So I said, well, I'm going to try that myself. So I didn't tell anybody I was going. I just went. I launched my kayak from a area very close to a reported dogman hotspot here in Land Between the Lakes. So I went along the shore, paddled, took pictures of the wildlife, the deer, the snakes, because I like herpetology, looked at all the fish and the eagles and the turtles and all that. And I just took general pictures along the way. When I got back, I sent the pictures to Jill, the co-founder and essentially the technical person within Night Vision Paranormal. And she went through and blew up and scanned every picture, looking just to see if I got something. Because I didn't see anything unusual, didn't hear anything unusual the whole time I was on my kayak. So she sent this picture on the left to me, all excited, and she said, "You got something." So what I can tell you, the picture on the left there is a dark figure, and it appears to have ears, muzzle, body structure, an arm, and you can see that it is in front of that stick that's going behind it. So it breaks up the outline of the stick because it's in front of it, and it's behind some others. So, of course, I was very excited too. So on May 30th, 2 days later, and to be precise, it was 44 hours later, so not even 48 hours, but 44 hours, I went back, launched again from the same location, paddled up to it, and this time I took a whole bunch of pictures. And I used two different cameras. I used the original camera and my phone with a camera and a separate camera. And I had to try to approximate my location because I was out on Kentucky Lake floating around, and I had to approximate the distance from the shoreline and the angle that I was at originally. So I took a whole bunch of pictures this time. Again, sent all of those to Jill. She was able to match up, and you'll see at the top left there what we call spiky tree. So it's
a slightly different angle.
It's slightly different angle, but again, I'm floating out in the middle of, not in the middle, but on Kentucky Lake.
So it is
zoomed in.
But
correct. So 44 hours later, there is no dark figure there
blocking the rock face
in the same location. Okay. So once we figured that out, it's like, oh, we're really excited now. So on June 14th of this year, the whole group, we decided to go into this location. And I'll tell you, it's a location that most people don't go to. nobody knew I was going. So that's the reason. That's two of the reasons that we don't think it's a hoax, because there's not anybody in this location. So we hiked in with every intention of taking a measuring stick that I had made, marked at 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8'2" at the top with a streamer on this measuring stick. Who's going to get down to that location, which we believe is a ledge there on this very, very steep rock face. Okay, we found out that it was not safe for us to get down there without rope gear. So I've got a background in rope rescue. So I had at that point already figured out a plan how we're going to get down to it. And that's actually what we're going to do tomorrow, is hike down to it. I've got all the rope gear, carabiners, the figure eights, all the stuff that we're going to need to safely get down there. We're going to put that stick there, and we're going to use the drone. You hear me? We're going to be using the Night Vision Paranormal Air Support Division, and going to fly it up while somebody is holding the stick at the ledge. I'm going to fly it down and try to get the same perspective that I would have had further down on the water on the kayak. But hopefully tomorrow we're going to finally get to the location physically, and look for footprints, bones, anything else that may be there, and try to get a height measurement on this. So this will be our 4th follow-up investigation on this particular picture.
Very cool. You didn't have any kind of inclination or anything that you were being watched, or an eerie feeling or something? Why did you end up taking that picture in particular?
Just because of the landscape, because there's 2 large rock faces there with a pebble beach between them. And I was like, well, that's pretty neat. And that is in the area that has been reported in the past to be a dogman hotspot. Now, I'm not saying that's what it is in the picture, but there's definitely a dark figure there. And 44 hours later, there was no dark figure there. And I think you put it into Chat GPT or something. And what did Chat GPT tell you it probably was?
Yeah.
It said it could either be human or bear or a cryptid.
And it actually said dogman, I believe.
It actually said dogman.
Cryptid, dogman like.
And there are some bear in LBL, so it is possible. But if it was, then the bear was there, and the bear is not there, and I'd be thrilled to see a bear as well. But there's not very many of them at all, but there are some. So anyway,
Chat GTP also says it's between 7 and 9 foot tall.
Oh, really?
So for a bear, that would be fairly tall if it is a bear, which is a possibility. But hopefully tomorrow we actually get to stand there and see how much taller it is than us.
I could see it being a bear. I could see what it kind of's got. I don't know. It's kind of on the one screen over here is really pixelated, so I'm not sure how people are seeing this, but you can see like 2 nostrils here, and then an eye, and then 2 ears up here, and this is the head. That's what
I looked at it from that direction. I always looked at it straight on. I can see what you're talking about. But the thing is, if you got to do that much work into it, it's not a good picture. But again, I wasn't intentionally trying to take one, or I would have gotten a whole lot closer, and so we wouldn't have to pixelate and stuff. But I will tell you a funny story about this. About a month ago, we had the Squatch out in Land Between the Lakes, and we had people come from all over, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Oklahoma. There was a whole bunch of people there, and Martin Groves actually showed up. He was still recovering after his hospital stay, but he was able to come out, and it was like a rock star. Everybody dropped everything and ran over to see him, and it was great to sit and talk to him. And after quite a while of talking to him, I asked him, "Can I show you something?" And I showed him this picture. I said, "If you see anything, I'll be happy to tell you the whole story about the kayak and the follow-up and all that I just told." So he looked at the picture for 15 seconds and 20 seconds and didn't say anything. And I kind of huffed like that. And I said, "So do you see anything?" And he said, "Well, I see trees." And I was ready to tuck my tail between my legs and skulk off when he started laughing, and Mike Smith started laughing. So they got me good on that. He says, "Oh yeah, I see ears, I see a muzzle, I see a shoulder." And that was just like fantastic that somebody that's actually seen one would say there's something in my picture. So that's why we're putting so much effort into the follow-up.
No, I definitely see what you're looking at there. And I would have said it does look like a dog man until you brought up the bear. And I'm like, okay, well, it could be a bear, but it's a big critter, whatever it is.
Again,
I mean,
that's a sheer cliff. So.
Yeah, it's a very, very sheer area that we could not safely. I was scared to death Jill was going to fall down the rock face 100 feet and hit Kentucky Lake. It is that steep. So hopefully we'll find out some more evidence. Maybe we'll find bear footprints or claw marks or whatever, but there was something there and then it wasn't.
And bear are very, very rare.
And they track them.
It makes the newspaper when there's a bear in LBL. Yeah. So it makes the 10 o'clock news, or Facebook nowadays, TikTok, it's big news. We had one come through, I think last spring, and he made his rounds through several counties, and every person that's seen him, I mean, every time you went on Facebook, somebody had a video of this bear walking through. So they have a pretty good idea. And there hadn't been any reports when this picture was taken of anything coming through LBL.
And there's several stories in that area from other people of having sightings and encounters. So it seems to be a kind of a hotspot area for everybody.
Well, that's just it. Everyone talks about, cryptids being, Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and all these weird things. But a cryptid is just an animal that's, out of place, thought to be extinct or something. So, necessarily if a bear or something in that area isn't supposed to be there either, bears are cryptids too, under that banner. So that's really cool. But I don't know, I don't see bears being very nimble, I guess, so if you're looking at more of a sheer rock face, I mean, we don't know that much about Dogman either, but Dogman at least would be, more upright and stuff. Whatever this thing is looks like it's standing up. So either it's a bear standing up on its hind legs, and that's pretty unique too in that aspect. But yeah, there's definitely something there, especially compared to the two pictures. So do you think, having looked at this area, is there any kind of, like you mentioned before we went on air, some of the caves and stuff down there? Is it look like there's any kind of like caves or, like holes or anything in the rock face there where something could be living?
Well, actually, on one of the follow-ups that I mentioned, I specifically bought the drone for the Air Support Division, took it up, and I was extremely nervous with it because I was flying over rocks, trees, and Kentucky Lake, and I'd only flown it about 3 times before that. So I did go up. I went over the area and looked straight down, as opposed to what we're going to try to do tomorrow is get more down level with the water where I was originally. But on the time that I did take it up, there were crevices in that rock face. Because again, I was pretty much looking straight down at it. So there's holes in the rocks. Is there a cave underneath there? I don't know. I could not see them until I was directly above all that. I could not see it from the water. So we're getting ready to find out what's up there.
That'd be well. Let me ask you this: from the water level itself, you said that's the side where the picture is very hard to get to, but the other side, can you walk in there? Is there some like game trails or something that go up to it, or do you have to come in by river? How hard is it to get to that spot from the opposite side?
You can walk in. It's quite a hike, but yes, you definitely can, and we've been in there several times.
We've hiked the land side too. Yeah.
Yes. Matter of fact, when we were hiking in, that's where we saw our quite large timber rattler there. I'd already had snake gaiters and had been wearing them, and Jill and Billy and the Night Vision Paranormal Juniors, they had just gotten their snake gaiters and put them on for the first time, and within 10 minutes we were looking at that really large timber rattler, which I was thrilled about because again, I like herpetology. So
yeah.
We're trying to be safe while we're out here exploring. So.
We're hoping that they're not as out tomorrow. because it's a little bit cooler, but I don't know. It's not been cool enough for a long enough duration.
No, they're still out. They're still out.
Awesome.
We may
Well, so-
bypass where he was at. Go around.
Because yeah, he's probably still sitting in that same spot waiting for you. You know, I know they'll
Could
be
be.
back. Just wait. Yeah. So you kind of again mentioned before we went on air stuff about like the cave systems and stuff. Is there a lot of reports of the dog man and stuff in caves down there? Do you hear any sighting reports around that or anything?
I think we had a connection problem there.
Yeah, you got really crackly. Sounds like somebody's
Sounds
sucking through a straw.
I don't know what. If you can hear, I don't think there's a lot of caves here. There definitely are caves up where I live up in Livingston County. There's other caves, and of course, Mammoth Cave, the largest cave system in the world, is just a few hours away from us. So who knows how far that cave system may reach this direction. I don't remember what 400 something miles of caves that they've already documented. But there's reported of a cave that's where we're getting ready to go to. As soon as we leave here, we're going to go see if we can find this cave where supposedly was a dogman encounter a few years ago. I know I've been there once, didn't find the cave, but I got a little more information now than I had before. So hopefully we will find that. I don't know if we can't hear you over here static.
It sounds to me like somebody, you know, like when you get to the bottom of a soda and you kind of stick that last up. That's kind of what I'm getting through. I heard you, but you get this weird sound coming through on there, like a rattling.
Happens if we get refreshed.
You think if we refresh it, it'll do better?
You can try. We'll bring it back up.
Just
Sure.
try it. See if it does anything.
We'll be right back with them in just a second here. If you guys, we are live, obviously, here on the Untold Radio Network. If you guys have any questions or comments about the paranormal, Dogman, the LBL, Land Between the Lakes, for you guys, if you have any questions for our guest today, throw them in the comments section there from Western Kentucky and do everything from Bigfoot, paranormal, all that stuff. They're back. Waiting for a feed connection there. There we go. Not better. Nope, not better. The first thing I heard was the straw.
She's going to the backup plan. And stand by.
We think the Wi-Fi.
Not a problem, guys. While we're waiting there, do you have a lot of Dogman stories coming out of the LBL. Have you guys done a lot of Bigfooting down there? Have you had a lot of stories of that?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
You sound like you're a robot. Robot.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
If I heard
Out here.
we would think we got a.
Here we go. Hold on. We have a second screen now. Once we get situated, we will have them back. I'll pull this one down. They are getting it all set, their backup plan here on the laptop. And as soon as we get her all situated, we will bring them back up here.
Can you? There we go.
That is a lot clearer.
Okay.
You sounded like a robot demon voice, and if we heard that on a ghost investigation, we would have run.
Funny, that's what people do to me in person too sometimes. So, you know.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulty.
Not a problem. You are all a lot clearer and a lot visually and audio-y. So we're good.
Is that a word? Auto-y?
Auto-y, yes.
Auto-y, got it.
Auto and video a lot clearer. Awesome. What I was asking is, we've talked about Dogman, and when you talk about the land between the lakes, you hear a lot of stories of the Dogman and stuff down in that area. Have you guys had Bigfoot or anything down there? Have you had any encounters with them?
I have not.
Not yet.
We had some tree knocks last night while we were sleeping. Obviously, we didn't see what was making the noise. Of course, that's common lore about them. I just need to see one right up in front of me. Is what I need to see. I have not yet. No.
Have you guys ever heard any stories with the Dogman and stuff of doing tree knocks or the stick structures and stuff like that?
I have not heard that.
Okay. I've heard some stuff along those lines, but it's kind of here and there and not really consistent. So being that, you're primarily Dogman and stuff down in that area, have you guys found any structures or weird things that would be associated with that?
There's tree bends. I don't know how much validity there is to any of that, especially when they're calling them structures, and it provides no shelter from wind, sun, rain, anything. Or is it more symbolic or a guide or a warning? I don't know, but so far I haven't found any reason to put a lot of belief into that. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm ready to learn in case I am.
I don't know. It's always interesting. We've done a lot of research into stick structures. I did a lot of the early stuff for caps and stuff on that and looking into it. And it was really interesting because down in Kentucky and Tennessee in that, I've heard a lot about like the stone stacking instead of the stick structure so much. And up here in Wisconsin, we don't have a lot of rocks and stones out in the woods. It's very covered with leaf litter and stuff, and you just don't see a lot of rocks up here. But down there where we were researching, we went down with Turtle Man, and he was taking us in this one area and stuff around and telling us his stories and that. And in the areas that we went with him, there was just rocks everywhere. And there was these really large in the middle of the woods, not like people put there. Like we tried to lift one of the rocks and me and Turtle Man couldn't even lift it, so these are big rocks and they're all stacked up and stuff. So it was really interesting to see the stone stacking versus the sticks in that as markers or whatever this happens to be. Have you found anything like that?
I have not. That was in LBL.
Not in LBL, just Kentucky in general, Kentucky,
okay.
Tennessee.
I have not, but something larger than what two men could lift, and you've got several of them, that would get my attention.
Yeah, because that's what I thought too. It was near public access, right? So people could wander in there and stuff. But me and Turtle Man, I mean, we're not, weak, and we couldn't even pick this thing up, especially to get it up on top of the other rocks that it was stacked on.
Wow. Yep.
It was some pretty big rocks stacked in there. So, not that somebody couldn't do it, but it was just way off the trail and, not something that should be there. So, but interesting. Like I said, we don't have.
I think for like us, we're still waiting for our aha moment on cryptids. I think we all have probably had it with ghosts, and we probably, in fairness, we probably do more ghost investigations because to some degree they're easier. It's easy to find a haunted house to a degree, or a haunted location that you can pay to go to. We were joking the other day when we were packing up to do this expedition that we're on. We felt like we were taking half the house with us to go pretend to be homeless for a week. It's so much work that goes into it. It took us a whole day just to set up, to spend 4 days, and then we got to tear it down again, and it was a lot more like work, and I'm supposed to be on vacation this week. But so in fairness, like I said, we've done more of the ghost stuff, because you throw 3 trunks of equipment in a car and you drive down the road to where you're going, and you spend 6 hours and go back home and sleep in your own bed that night. But I think we would all love to have that aha moment where we walk out in the woods and see a rock structure that we can't explain, or a footprint that we can claim as our own that we found and cast or whatever. But the picture is a start, and we're doing our due diligence like we always do to make sure that we go back and make sure that it could not be something else, and then we'll take it from there. So tomorrow will be the first step of where does it go from here. What do we find when we get down to that cliff tomorrow? What do we see, and how do we project that something could get down there or not get down there? We've been close, but we've never actually stood on that ledge.
Metaphorically and physically. That's awesome. That is awesome, guys. Well, we are coming up on the end of the show here. I definitely would love to have you guys back. I have so many other questions for you. I think you guys are a great group, and I love what you're doing with the dedication to the research and all that, and the fact that you guys are like Caps and stuff, doing the paranormal, the Bigfooting, the cryptids, all that stuff. There's so much stuff going on. I wanna hear all about what you guys find, or if you don't find anything, and stuff with your rest of your expedition this week. So we'll be in touch and have to have you back up for a follow-up on all this. But you guys talked about
we'd love to come back, and hopefully we have some follow-up information for you when we do.
And hopefully we're in not a McDonald's parking lot, but you make do when you're on expedition there. So
that's right. We thought it sounded cool when we said live from location, and it turned out being a McDonald's parking lot, so maybe not so cool.
We're real close, but this is the closest we can get and get Wi-Fi. Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, man. I appreciate the dedication and taking the time away from the research to come on today. Before we wrap up, though, I want to remind everyone you got that library presentation coming up. And you guys going to be at CryptidCon. I know you guys have done that in the past. Go hang out or anything there. And where else are you guys going to be speaking or events coming up?
We'll be at Goblin Con in Hopkinsville, Kentucky on the 17th and 18th of this month. So that'll be our next event. Then we have a thing called McCrackCon. It's in McCracken County at the McCracken County Library coming up in November. So be sure to check our Facebook page for updates and times and so forth on that. And then, we have a couple other things in the works that I don't know that we can technically talk about, just yet, but some pretty exciting stuff coming up for some ghost hunts, some places that we've dreamed about getting into. And permission. Now we're getting some special permission. So we're looking forward to that as well. And then, maybe take a little bit of a break going back into Christmas and hit it hard again next year.
We've had a busy year. We've been to Alabama Bigfoot conference, the Paducah Paranormal Conference.
Townsend, Tennessee Bigfoot.
Townsend, Tennessee, yep.
Sasquatch Festival in Harrisburg, Illinois.
Yeah, so we've had a really busy 2025.
We suspect 2026 will be busy as well. And then 2027 will be our 10-year anniversary. So we're definitely going to make that a big year. We are in the works of trying to plan to go back where it all started and take a group to Waverly Hills with us and kind of just celebrate 10 years of being around and becoming, what we've tried to become, which is integrity first paranormal division. We're family based, and we do that for a lot of reasons. Integrity being one of them, but also safety for family and children and so forth. But we got a lot of people that work behind the scenes too. We couldn't be out here if we didn't have babysitters and things like that. So, there's a lot that goes into it for us to be able to do what we do. And our goal is to do it with integrity and only present what we believe to be truth.
That is awesome, guys. You guys have been great guests, and no worries about the parking lot or the malfunction and stuff. It's been a wonderful time chatting with you guys. I really appreciate it, and look forward to having you guys back and hearing more about all your adventures.
Great.
Hey, thanks for having us, and we're gonna hit the trail back and do some more investigating. We've already investigated this morning. We're gonna go finish up late into the night.
Sounds good, guys. We have the links to your Facebook and TikTok. And
Try to get this right here.
That way, other way.
There we go. Stay hydrated while you're searching.
That's right.
Got
I don't know if you can see it or not, but
Support
anyway.
the merch.
Support the merch, yeah.
Help pay for this.
Awesome. Yeah, we have links to all of your stuff in the show notes for anybody that's interested in following up and seeing some of your videos and other things on Facebook, as well as your TikTok channel as well in there, so they can go check that out and hopefully give you guys some support there as well. So
Hey, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
absolutely, guys. You take care and be safe out there. Watch out for the snakes and don't fall off a cliff, because I want to see all three of you back on the next episode, and nobody in crutches or a boot or something like that. So
Don't look at me.
That's happened before.
That's happened.
well, best of luck to you guys, and we'll see you later. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right, guys, that is our show for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure you go and check out Night Vision Paranormal, all of their adventures and paranormal cryptids, aliens, goblins, whatever they're going to go chase next. And hopefully we will have them back on in a couple weeks here and see all the stuff that they've collected from this week's adventures. But until then, guys, thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing all things here on the Untold Radio Network. Remember, if you missed out on the videos or the pictures from today's episode, go look at our YouTube channel where you can watch this entire episode in video format and see the Dogman picture that they got from the cliffside. But otherwise, thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Go check out all their stuff. And until next time, guys, remember, we're all part of the paranormal spectrum. Take care, be well, and I'll see you next week.
You seem to know